آله وأصحابه أجمعين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وعملا وفقها في الدين يا رب العالمين وألحقنا بعبادك الصالحين. We continue inshallah on the Hadith on the chapter of marriage. We stopped on Hadith number 1639 of this book, Targheeb or Tarheeb. وعن أبي هريرة رضي الله تعالى عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال: تنكح المرأة لأربع: لمالها ولحسبها ولجمالها ولدينها فاظفر بذات الدين تربت يداك. رواه البخاري ومسلم وأبو داود والنسائي وابن ماجه. Subhanallah, this hadith is narrated in all the 6 major books of hadith: Bukhari, Muslim, Tirmidhi, Abu Dawud, Nasa'i. It comes in all 6 books. It's on the authority of Abu Hurairah radiyallahu anhu. When it comes to marriage, what are you seeking for? What are you looking for? These are the 4 qualities that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. These are the 4 qualities that a person must be searching for. What are the 4 qualities? Firstly, تنكح المرأة لأربع. A woman is married because of 4 reasons. لمالها. Firstly, because of her wealth, status in her wealth. ولحسبها. Due to her lineage, due to her status. Nowadays, maybe we can take it as occupation. Okay? وَلِجَمَالِهَا. But generally, حَسَبِهَا, our parents used to look at this even more. This is why marriages used to bond more, and they used to stay for whole life. Unfortunately, nowadays, because we don't look at these things, we get stuck, and then, unfortunately, things happen during the course of that 10-year, 15-year, 20-year marriage. And later on, it happens that problems occur because of differences in cultures, because of the backgrounds that you come from. So this is also extremely important. Hasabiha, wali jamaliha, because of her beauty. So beauty can never be neglected. You know, many people, they become too pious, over pious. And they start thinking and they start saying that beauty is not a big issue for me as long as religion is there. I tell them all the time that if beauty is not the reason why you're getting married, then how are you going to lower your gaze after you get married? Because the purpose of getting married is to lower your gaze, to not look at other women, okay? To not look at other haram women in a lustful gaze. So if your own wife is not good looking and you're not attracted to her, then how is this marriage going to survive? Do you understand? So it's very important that a person does look at beauty. Not to say that beauty is the all and the end all. No. Okay, that's not the case. But beauty is very important, especially in this time of fitna. Especially in this time of fitna, beauty, I say, it is absolute necessity. Okay? Don't ever neglect, because a person goes into a marriage thinking beauty is not such a big issue, and then later on he regrets it, and then he wants to come out, but there's no exit. Remember, the moment you go in, that's it. It's for life. It's not for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year. No, marriage is for life, for absolute life. Walidiniha, and the 4th quality is her religion. Then Rasulullah makes a statement to make the last point more important than all the previous 3, meaning her wealth, her lineage, and her beauty. So the last point is deen. Deen here is referring to her character in general as well as her religious duties. Not just religious duties, but as well as her character. Both come within the meaning of deen. فَاظْفَرْ بِذَاتِ الدِّينِ تَرِبَتْ يَدَاكَ. Become successful. Become successful with the one that has deen. Surely a person will gain success. It's a way of expression according to the Arabs. A religious woman will guide you in this world and in the next world. Whereas a woman who doesn't have religion can only help you in this world. Whereas this world is temporary. Whether you're living for another 20 years or 50 years, it doesn't matter. She can only help you for that 20 years and 50 years. But if she doesn't have religion, she can't help you for your afterlife. She won't help you for your afterlife. And our maqsad as human beings on this earth is afterlife. Our maqsad, this is temporary life. We might die today, we might die tomorrow, we might die after 20 years. Allahu A'lam, when we're going to die. But If a woman is there to assist you in your religious duties, not to neglect your religious duties. For example, we go to the gym every day, 1 hour a day. Do you give it a miss? Generally, you don't. Okay? Why? Because you know the importance of it, that it plays in your health. Okay? So therefore, just like you understand that sometimes you need a push, you need a budge, you need someone to push you towards your religious duties. Sometimes you get lazy, even with the gym, sometimes you get lazy. But the same thing with the salahs, and same thing with your tilawatul Quran every single day, same thing with your dhikrs every single day, all the same thing with your salat and salam every day, single day, minimum, at least. If you can't do 500 times, do 300 times. If you can't do 300 times, do 100 times. It doesn't even take a couple of minutes. Do salat and salam every single day. Don't miss salat and salam. Don't miss your istighfar. 100 times istighfar. Astaghfirullah inallah. Don't miss your tilawatul Quran. At least, if you can't do 3 juz, do 1 juz. 1 juz. Sit down for that 40 minutes. That 40 minutes is your investment for your akhirah. This investment you won't get. You can go and put your investment for your health, but you can't go and put your investment for your akhirah. What type of mentality is this? This is a failed mentality. A person, he can work for dunya for 10, 12, 15 hours a day, but he can't work for Allah for 2, 3 hours a day. This is a disgrace to us. It's a disgrace to our minds and understanding of how we understand deen and how we think of akhirah, and how much importance we give to the investment of our akhirah. Whereas our investment of dunya, we can give hours and hours and hours, day and night, non-stop. So one must be very careful in choosing a partner, and they must make sure that deen comes first. Deen comes always first. Next hadith we have, وعن عبد الله بن عمرو رضي الله تعالى عنهما قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا تزوجوا النساء لحسنهن فعسى حسنهن أن يرضيهن. Subhanallah. Here Abdullah bin Amr says, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said that don't marry a woman specifically only because of her beauty. Why? Because if you marry her because of her beauty, it might be that it brings her downfall through her beauty. Because of her beauty, she is able to allure other men and attract other men to herself. So this, in fact, will become a more detrimental to your marriage rather than it becoming a good thing. But this is, of course, when you look at her from a specific point of only beauty and no deen. So if this occurs, then of course you're going to look for a failure. وَلَا تُزَوِّجُوهُنَّ لِأَمْوَالِهِنَّ. And do not marry them because specifically of their wealth. These are specifics only. You're only marrying a person because of her beauty. She's 10 out of 10. Because of that, you're marrying her. If that's the only reason you're marrying her, then that might become a reason of your downfall. So the second one is وَلَا تُزَوِّجُوهُنَّ لِأَمْوَالِهِنَّ. And don't marry them because specifically of their wealth. Maybe her dad's got maybe 10, 15 houses, and you're going to get one house at the end of the day if you get married to her. People do that. Unfortunately, people do that. People have that type of mindset that I don't need to work for the rest of my life. Astaghfirullah, you're a man. Allah made you a man. Allah made you responsible for the family. You shouldn't be going after their wealth, okay? Their wealth is their wealth. Your wealth, you make your wealth. You become who you want to become. وَلَا تُزَوِّجُوهُنَّ لِأَمْوَالِهِنَّ فَعَسَى أَمْوَالُهُنَّ أَن تَطْغِيَهُنَّ. Perhaps it will make them rebel, because if they come from a higher class family, royalty family, then they're used to all the luxuries and the comforts of dunya. If you can't provide them, then she may rebel against you. Okay, if you can't buy them the Louis Vuitton bag, if you can't buy them the Gucci perfume, if you can't buy the Savage and the Dior, then what's going to happen? You're going to be in big issues, big issues. So that might become a cause of her rebellion against you, because you can't afford it. So you married someone way out of your league. Okay, way out of your league. This also goes into the category of compatibility in marriage. Compatibility in marriage. وَلَكِنْ تَزَوَّجُهُنَّ عَلَى الدِّينِ. Rasulullah says, but rather marry them because of their religion. وَلَأَمَةٌ خَرْمَاءُ سَوْدَاءُ ذَاتُ دِينٍ أَفْضَلٍ. And a slave woman, look at the description, and a slave woman that has a lip that is cut. Kharma means a lip that is cut, meaning very ugly. Dark, black. That has religion is much better than all the others mentioned before. Okay? So we must remember that deen always must come first. Deen must be your priority. Without deen, without the fear of Allah in her, she can commit anything, and behind your back, in front of you, behind you, especially nowadays with social media, anything can happen at any time. So it is more dangerous. That's why deen must be your main priority when it comes to looking for a spouse. And this hadith is narrated in Ibn Majah. Next we go on to عن معقل بن يسار رضي الله عنه تعالى قال جاء رجل إلى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فقال يا رسول الله إني أصبت امرأة ذات حسب ومنصب ومال إلا أنها لا تلد أفأتزوجها فنهاه ثم أتاه الثانية فقال له مثل ذلك ثم أتاه الثالثة فقال له تزوجوا الودود الولود فإني مكافر بكم الأمم. Subhanallah, this hadith must be highlighted in gold. Why? Look at this hadith. A man came to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam and said, "O Prophet of Allah, verily I found a woman, a spouse, a woman that I'm attracted to. She has high lineage. She has a high status amongst people. She has a lot of wealth, except that she's barren. She can't have children. She's got everything what you want in a woman, except the fact that she can't have a child." Okay? This hadith, Rasulullah, he's asking a question to Rasulullah. Can I marry her? She's got all the qualities. Status, lineage, wealth, everything. You call it, she's got it. Yeah? But the only thing that she doesn't have is she's barren. She can't have children. Rasulullah said, no. He prohibited him to marry her. A second person came to Rasulullah. He said a similar statement to this. Shall I marry a person like this? Shall I marry a woman like this? He also prohibited again. The third time, another person came with a similar request that I want to go and marry someone like this and this and this with this description. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam made the statement, "Tazawwaju al-wadud al-walud." Marry the woman that is loving. If she is not loving, then you are not going to be attracted to her. If she's always screaming at you, shouting at you, speaking ill of you, speaking loudly, swearing, all those things, then immediately you're going to be put off. No matter what type of a man you are and how much resilience you have, how much patience you have, automatically you're going to fail. As a man, you're going to fail. Okay? So therefore, Rasulullah specifically said, marry those who are loving. So they will automatically attract you. A woman that is loving automatically will take care of you. She will take care of you. Then the second condition, al-wadud, that gives a lot of children. She's prolific when it comes to giving you a lot of children. Nowadays, unfortunately, it's an unfortunate situation where we are scared of having more children. We are scared. Scared of what? Allahu A'lam. You know, some people are scared of fear, some people are scared of inflation, some people are scared of so many things they have, which is completely forbidden. If that's the intention, that a person is not having children, then it is absolutely forbidden. In Sharia, it is forbidden to have contraception due to poverty. Because Allah is Razik. Allah is Razik. And the whole purpose of marriage is making the ummah larger. Making the ummah larger. That's why you see Palestinians. These hadiths are ingrained inside them, inside their blood and muscles and everything. Why? Why we say this is because these people, they are living examples of this. They have 5, 6, 7 children, 8 children, 10 children without any issue. Even they don't care about poverty. Poverty is not even a case. They don't care. It's not even inside their vocabulary. Do you understand? Why? Because they understand this hadith very well. That Allah is Razik. No matter how I will provide, I will be able to provide. Allah has given me this. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has destined this child for me on this earth, then automatically there will be resources for that child. That's why you see the grandmothers and the grandfathers that have the most amount of grandchildren, they're the most happiest. They're the most happiest. Why? Because they had a lot of children, and then from those children, they had loads of more grandchildren. And at the end of their life, they're the most happiest. The most happiest. They're the ones that don't go through depression. They're the ones that don't need to go through the old people's homes. Unfortunately, us, in our situations, we only want 2 kids and that's it. If that's the case, then this is going against the sunnah of Rasulullah. You most probably will end up going into old people's homes, okay, and have beans and toast and mashed potato, unfortunately, okay. So make sure to have loads of children. Why? Rasulullah said that he will be proud of you on the day of judgment. He will be proud of you. The more children you have, Rasulullah will be more proud of you, because the main purpose of marriage is to have children. To have children. Without children, there's no buzz of life. There's no buzz of life, you know. Yes, there's slight inconveniences, but the thing is, these are slight inconveniences compared to what you are getting, the happiness that you get all throughout your life. It is much, much, much worth it. It's definitely worth it. So this is one of the main qualities. Now, a person will ask, how will you know that this woman is loving, and how will you know this woman has a lot of children? Generally, the ulama, they say, it doesn't come in hadith, the ulama, they say, from the wisdoms, they say you generally look at her mother, you generally look at her auntie's khala, you look at her hufu, you look at her sisters. If they're married and they have a lot of children, then generally that woman will be very similar. She will also have a lot of children, inshallah. So you look at her own family, and generally from that you can understand that, alhamdulillah, that family has a lot of children, therefore it will be a good proposal for me into that marriage, inshallah, and I will be able to have a lot of, she will be fertile. Nowadays, they're going through PCOS. This is very common, very common amongst young women, young girls. 18-year-old, 21-year-old girls are going through PCOS. They can't have children. They become infertile because of their health, because of whatever food that we're eating, because of whatever reasons, because of exercise, whatever reasons. So this is extremely detrimental. This is if they don't look after their health, they won't be able to be prolific. One of the most important things in marriage is that they become prolific in giving children. If they are not able to bear children, then the purpose of marriage is defeated. The whole purpose of marriage is absolutely defeated. Then here, the next hadith we have, on the authority عن أبيه قال رضي الله تعالى عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أيما رجل تزوج امرأة على ما قل من المهر أو كثر ليس في نفسه أن يؤدي إليها حقها خدعها فمات ثم ولم يؤدي إليها حقها لقي الله يوم القيامة وهو زان. أستغفر الله. This is so dangerous. This is a very dangerous threat from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Any man that marries a woman, from the beginning, he has the intention not to give the mahar. Mahar is a wajib. We call it a gift. We call it a gift, but in fact, it is wajib. It's a wajib gift. Okay? It's a wajib gift given from the man to the woman, not the other way around. In India, it is the other way around. The woman has to give the mahar to the man. I didn't hear of that unless a couple of years ago I heard this. Anyway, I was shocked. I was shocked out of my head. Anyway, the point is, the mahar is the man's duty. It is wajib upon the man to give the mahar to the woman. Okay, it is wajib according to the Sharia. If a man, for example, he said 10,000 pound mahar, and he has no intention to fulfill that mahar, and he dies without giving the mahar, on the day of judgment, he will be raised as a zani, as a person who's an adulterer, fornicator. It's one of the most serious crimes that you can commit. In fact, in the Hanafi madhab, if a person does not give the mahar, she can refuse intercourse. She can refuse relations with the man because you haven't fulfilled her haqq. Her haqq is that you give the mahar in full. Sometimes if you made a promise, for example, and you said, for example, I'll give you 10,000 pounds, but on that 10,000 pounds, you're going to give it in installments, but you still have the intention to give it to her. Do you understand? Monthly, you're going to give her 400, 400, 400, 400, 400. As time goes along, that 10,000 will be fulfilled. Fine, that's completely fine. You have the intention to give that mahar to her. But a person who marries her and tells her a big mahar without the intention of paying it back, then on the day of judgment, he will be raised amongst the zani, amongst the Ones who commit adultery and fornication. This is the worst crime. This is one of the worst crimes in Islam, major sins in Islam. So a person must be very careful with the mahar money. You mustn't mess around with the mahar money. And the mahar money is the haqq of the wife, not the father-in-law. Our culture, the big problem in our culture, the father-in-law snatches the mahar away. This is a big, big problem. Okay, this is so sinful, so sinful. This is her haqq. This is her right in Sharia. This is wajib for the man to give it to her. Okay, here when it comes to mahar, don't mess around, please. Okay, don't mess around. It's a very staunch threat from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. وعن أبي هريرة رضي الله تعالى عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أكمل المؤمنين إيمانا أحسنهم خلقا وخياركم خياركم لنسائهم رواه الترمذي وابن حبان في صحيحه وقال الترمذي حديث حسن صحيح. Here Abu Hurairah رضي الله عنه says Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم said, the perfect believers, the believers that are the most perfect on the day of judgment will be their faith will be perfect, are those who they have the best type of character. Best type of character. وَخِيَارُكُمْ خِيَارُكُمْ لِنِسَائِهِمْ. And the best of you are those that are the best to your wives. Best to your wives. Look at the Arabic language. It didn't say li zawjatikum directly. This is the beauty of the Arabic language. This is respect. Here we learn respect. You know, the other day a person asked me, is it allowed for a wife to call the husband by his name? It's against respect. It's against adab. It's against adab. Find me a sahabiya that called the sahabi by his name. They would say Abu Hamza, Abu Talha, Abu Zubair, Abu Muhammad, Abu Ahmad. This is Arabic. This is the beauty of Arabic. So let us never ever fall into those deceptions that, oh, just because it didn't come in hadith, we don't understand. The ulama have stated it very carefully that a woman must not take the name of her husband directly. If his name is Usama, she shouldn't say Usama directly. She say father of Hamza, father of Ahmad. Do you understand? It's a type of respect. It is from Sharia. It is from Sharia, not just from culture. Many people think it's a cultural thing. No, it's not a cultural thing. It's a Shari'atan thing. Ulama have mentioned it for centuries and centuries and centuries, from the Salafus Salihin until our time. Okay? So the best of you are those who are the best to their wives. Their wives. Because at that time, your patience is tested. When you're married, the best type of character comes out when she is eating your brain up. She is nagging and nagging and nagging and arguing with you and raising a voice at you. That's the time where you have to show your best character. That's the time you have to show love. That's the time you have to show compassion. It's hard. Nobody's going to tell you it's easy, but that's the real test. Inshallah. وعن عائشة رضي الله تعالى عنها قالت قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إن من أكمل المؤمنين إيمانا أحسنهم خلقا وألطفهم بأهله رواه الترمذي والحاكم. Here, the perfect believers in Iman are those who have the best type of character. And here, he mentioned the specific word, altaf, latif. They have a very kind nature when it comes to dealing with their spouses. So when it comes to your spouses, try to deal with them softly. The softer you deal with them, the easier it is to get what you want. It's for you. It's not for her. It's for you. If you deal with her softly, automatically she will be for you. She will never be angry at you. Automatically her anger will calm down. But now if you use anger with anger, what's going to happen? Fire will explode. Fire will explode. So it is very dangerous, okay, especially in family, because when you're living with your wife, you become complacent. You become complacent, you know, because you're with her 24/7 all the time, every time. You become very relaxed. And sometimes you do raise your voice. When you do raise your voice, you have to understand about deen. You have to understand about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Rasulullah's message and His sunnah. Always use compassion. Compassion comes first before anything and everything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made you the Amir of the house. Therefore, you are in control. But that doesn't mean you become forceful. Okay, force is the worst tool that you can use. Even in religion, force is not the religion that we follow. La yukallifullahu nafsan illa wus'aha. You know, the religion is not a religion of force. If a person wants to do it, it is good. It's your own mental benefit. It's your own physical benefit for you to pray Salah, for you to fast, for you to go to Hajj. It's your own benefit. It's not Allah. Allah will not benefit from you making million sajdas, for you making 1,000 sajdas, for you making 1,000,000 tasbih in one day, for you making 1,000 subhanallah, subhanallah, subhanallah in one day. Allah will not benefit. You will benefit. What you will benefit? You might not see the benefits in this dunya, but the benefits is that you will stay away from depression. A person is going through depression, you'll never come across, you won't understand what depression is, because your depression is inside the Quran. Your Quran is dealing with your depression. Your depression is inside dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Your depression is inside Salah. You're crying to who? The master of the world. So inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us the best of husbands, and make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, may He make our wives the best of wives and the most pious of wives. جزاكم الله خير. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب